Hello everyone, this is Paleo Nerd back with a brand new natural history video. If you've already noticed the ongoing trend of my natural history videos, you can probably tell why this video is about Dromaeosaurs. For any first time viewers of this channel who don't know what I'm talking about, I just recently analyzed an episode of Jurassic Fight Club which prominently features Utahraptor, the largest known dromaeosaur, as well as one of the earliest known dromaeosaurs. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to fit Utahraptor into part 1, but I will get to Utahraptor and many of the more famous dromaeosaurs in part 2, which should be coming out after my analysis of raptors versus T-Rex. If you are unfamiliar with this series, natural history is where I cover a group or clade of animals and list every known member as well as some animals that might belong in the group. Keep in mind that since dinosaur phylogeny is almost always changing, what I list here may be different in the future. Like in my Allosaurids video, some of the names and places will be absolutely butchered by my American ass, so keep that in mind before you go chastising me in the comments for mispronouncing something. As I have already established, this video will focus on the family Dromaeosauridae, a group of paravian dinosaurs which are very closely related to birds. Dromaeosaurids, commonly called raptors in pop culture, are typically small to mid-sized animals, although some members grew quite large, and they are best known for the sickle-shaped claw on the second toe of their foot, which curls backward. Although this claw is also present on troodontids and early birds, the sickle claws of Dromaeosaurids are typically much larger. Although commonly depicted with scaly skin in pop culture and movies, all Dromaeosaurids are now believed to have been completely covered in feathers, and many bird-like features suggest that if you met a dromaeosaur in real life, chances are you would probably mistake it for a bird. Dromaeosauridae seem to be among the most widespread of all theropods, as they have been found on North America, South America, Europe, and Asia, while remains that may belong to dromaeosaurs are known from Africa, Australia, and Antarctica. While dromaeosaurids are mostly known from the Cretaceous period, the earliest remains assigned to dromaeosaurs have been found in Europe during the late Jurassic, giving them a temporal range of 155 to 66 million years ago. With dromaeosaurs being known nearly all over the world and having existed for such a long time, Dromaeosauridae was undoubtedly a very successful group of theropods. In this video, we'll be covering the three most basal groups of Dromaeosauridae: Microraptoria, Unenlagiinae, and Halszkaraptorinae. But first are some dromaeosaurids whose exact placements within the family tree are uncertain. Shanag is the earliest named dromaeosaurid, being predated only by some dromaeosaurids known from teeth in late Jurassic Germany. Its generic name references the dancers of the Buddhist Cham dance, while the specific name refers to the Ashil Formation, which is now known as the Oosh Formation. The animal was described by Alan Turner, Sunny Hai-Cheng Huang, and Mark Norell in 2007, based on fragments of the upper and lower jaw. Estimates place it at a length of 1.5 meters or 5 feet long and a weight of 5 to 6 kilograms or 11 to 13 pounds. The Oosh Formation in Mongolia it is known from likely dates from the Bariacean to the Barremian of the early Cretaceous period, about 140 to 125 million years ago, and includes the basal ceratopsian Psittacosaurus, the mammal Gobiconodon, an unnamed tapejoid pterosaur, and the lizard Norelius, which is closely related to modern geckos. The formation also has larger animals, including the dubious sauropod Asiatosaurus and the theropod Prodynodon mongoliensis, which may be either an allosaurid or a tyrannosaurid. Shanag probably preyed on mammals, lizards, and the young of other dinosaurs, among other small vertebrates. The initial analysis of Shanag places it as a basal dromaeosaurid, higher in the family tree than Unenlagiinae, and while recent studies suggest that it may belong in Microraptoria, its placement is uncertain, so it remains outside of any of the subfamilies for now. Next is Zhenyuanlong Suni, or Zhenyuansun's dragon, which honors Zhenyuansun, a representative of the Jinsao Paleontological Museum in Liaoning, China, where this type specimen was studied. It was described as recently as 2015 by paleontologists Lu Junchang and Steve Broussat based on the nearly complete skeleton of a subadult individual. Zhenyuanlong is one of many dromaeosaurs known from the famous Yishan Formation, and also one of many dromaeosaurs to be preserved with traces of feathers, providing evidence that all Paravian dinosaurs possessed feathers. It was quite large for the time, reaching an estimated length of around 2 meters or 6 feet long, a height of half a meter or 1.5 feet tall at the shoulder, and a weight of around 10 to 15 kilograms or 20 to 30 pounds, around the size of many more derived dromaeosaurids like Dromaeosaurus and Deinonychus. It is believed to have lived during the Aptian age of the early Cretaceous period, about 125 million years ago, and it is most likely from the Lujiatun bed of the Yishan, and as such coexisted with fellow dromaeosaurids Graciliraptor and Changyuraptor, as well as troodontids like Daliansaurus, May, Cynovenator, and Cynosynesis. It also likely preyed on similarly sized herbivores like Leoceratops, Jeholosaurus, Psittacosaurus, Hexing, Ninyuangsaurus, Incisivosaurus, Zhenzusaurus, and baby sauropods. It also coexisted with the similarly sized Tyrannosaurid Dilong, with which it may have competed for prey. Zhenyuanlong is pretty unique compared to other Yishan dromaeosaurs, as it is the only dromaeosaurid known from the Yishan Formation that is not from the group Microraptoria, and its type specimen is the first preserved evidence of modern flight feathers on a flightless dromaeosaur. This pretty much proves that feathers are a universal trait of Dromaeosauridae and likely all of Coelurosauria, not just those that can fly or glide. Now we've moved beyond Asia and into Europe, where dromaeosaurids tend to be more fragmentary and their classification less certain. Ornithodesmus cluniculus, or birdlink with little buttocks, refers to both its original classification as a primitive bird and its small thighs. And this animal has a bit of a complicated history. It was initially described in 1887 by Harry Seeley, who believed that the animal was a form of bird. But later that year, John Holk suggested that Ornithodesmus was in fact a pterosaur. Seeley agreed, and Ornithodesmus was even given a second species, Olatidens. Then, in 1993, the type specimen of Ornithodesmus was re-examined, and it was identified as a theropod dinosaur, initially a troodontid until it was finally classified as a dromaeosaurid, and the second species was redescribed as a new genus of pterosaur called Istiodactylus in 2001. Ornithodesmus is now known only from the type specimen, a partial sacrum, which was found in the Wessex Formation in England. Its size is difficult to determine, but a length of 1.8 meters or 6 feet long is likely. Ornithodesmus coexisted with a large variety of animals, but probably only hunted small vertebrates, including mammals like Yavrolestes, amphibians like Westerpton, lizards, and turtles, as well as the young of pterosaurs and other dinosaurs. It may have competed for food with Aristosuchus, which was of similar size, and likely fell prey to many larger predators, including crocodilomorphs like Antiophthalmosuchus and larger theropods like Eotyrannus, Baryonyx, and Neovenator. There's not much else known about this animal, as is typical for Dromaeosaurs from Europe, and there's only 2 other European Dromaeosaurs anyway. Next are the last 2 of the European Dromaeosaurids which I will group together for the time being. Those Dromaeosaurs being Pyroraptor olympius, or fire thief from Mount Olympus, and Variraptor mechanorum, or var thief of the mechan family. Pyroraptor's generic name was based on a forest fire which exposed its fossils, while its specific name references Mount Olympus, not the one in Greece, but Mont Olympe, a mountain in Provence near where the animal was found. Meanwhile, Variraptor's genus name refers to the Var River near where it was found, and the specific name honors Patricon and Mechan, 2 amateur paleontologists who discovered its remains. Variraptor was described first in 1998 by Jean Lelouch and Eric Buffetot, while Pyroraptor was described about 2 years later in 2000 by Ronan Alain and Philippe Taquet. Thus, if the 2 are found to be synonymous, Variraptor would take priority. Both animals are known from very fragmentary remains, as Pyroraptor is known from some teeth, vertebrae, the right forearm, and parts of the left and right feet, while Variraptor is known from vertebrae, partial hip bones, a right humerus, and a femur. Since the remains of Variraptor and Pyroraptor don't overlap much, whether the 2 animals are synonymous is still up in the air, although differences in the ulna could suggest they are distinct genera. And Variraptor has often been considered nomen dubium due to a lack of diagnostic features. The 2 are similarly sized, as Pyroraptor is estimated at a length of 1.6 meters or 5 feet long, and a weight of about 20 kilograms or 44 pounds, while Variraptor is slightly larger at an estimated length of 2 meters or 6.5 feet long and a weight of 30 kilograms or 66 pounds. Both animals are known from the Graciliraptor formation in southeastern France, which dates from the late Campanian to the early Maastrichtian ages of the late Cretaceous period, about 73 to 70 million years ago. Other animals there include Rhabdodon, Unquillosaurus, Gargantuavis, Aodaposuchus, and a larger theropod which may be an abelosaurid, likely either Tarascosaurus or Archaevenator. Pyroraptor/Variraptor would have preyed primarily on smaller vertebrates based on their size, as well as the young of other dinosaurs. The first of the many subfamilies of Dromaeosauridae is Microraptoria, which is a clade of basal Dromaeosaurids, which first appeared during the Barremian age of the early Cretaceous and disappeared during the Campanian age of the late Cretaceous, about 126 to 76 million years ago. With the exception of Hesperonychus, all Microraptorians are known from Liaoning, China, specifically the Yishan and Jiaofotang formations. They are well known for both their small sizes and the especially long flight feathers on the arms and legs present on some species, indicating that they may have been capable of non-powered gliding and were likely at least semi-arboreal. Pretty much every Microraptorian has been discovered with the preserved impressions of feathers, with many being among the first feathered dinosaurs known to science. Although Microraptor and Sinornithosaurus seem to be the most well-known Microraptorians, the clade Microraptoria currently consists of 7 genera and about 9 to 10 species. One of the earliest known Microraptorians is Graciliraptor lugiatonensis, or a graceful thief from Lugiaton, referring to the town of Lugiaton near where it was found. It was described in 2004 by Zhu Zhang and Wang Xiaoling, based on some vertebrae of partial maxilla and partial arms and leg bones. Based on these remains, Graciliraptor is estimated to reach a length of 90 centimeters to a meter, or 3 to 3.2 feet long, and a weight of 1.5 kilograms or 3.3 pounds. It is known from the Lugiaton bed of the Yishan Formation, which is dated to the Barremian and Aptian ages of the early Cretaceous, about 126 to 125 million years ago. If that sounds familiar, that's the same bed that Zhenyuanlong is believed to be from. Judging by its size, Graciliraptor likely preyed on smaller vertebrates like amphibians, mammals, and the young of pterosaurs and other dinosaurs, starting to notice a theme. It may have been preyed on by the relatively large mammal Repanomamus, as well as larger theropods like Delong. As one of the earliest Dromaeosaurids, Graciliraptor shares many characteristics with Troodontids and Aviolans, supporting the idea that the three families are closely related. Next on the list is Zhongjianosaurus yangi, or Yang Zhongshan's lizard, which honors China's founder of vertebrate paleontology, Yang Zhongshan. It is the smallest member of Microraptoria and one of the smallest known non-avian dinosaurs, at a length of 80 centimeters or 2.6 feet long, a height of 30 centimeters or 1 foot tall at the shoulder, and a weight of 300 grams or 10.5 ounces. As well as it is also the most recently described Microraptorian, having been described as recently as 2017 by Zhu Zhang and Chen Xichuan based on a partial skeleton. It is known from the Duangjiangji bed of the Yishan, which dates to 125 to 124 million years ago, and it coexisted with fellow Microraptorians Sinornithosaurus and Tianyuraptor, both of which may have preyed on the much smaller Zhongjianosaurus. It also coexisted with herbivorous dinosaurs like Bolong, Jinsaosaurus, Liaoningosaurus, and Psittacosaurus, as well as other theropods like Yishanosaurus, Zhenyuanlong, Sinosauropteryx, and the giant Eutyrannus. Zhongjianosaurus would have also shared the skies with birds like Confuciusornis, Hongshanornis, Shanwei and Eogranivora, as well as pterosaurs like Cathiopteryx and Ningchengopterus, and even the gliding lizard Zhenyuanlong. Next up is Changyuraptor yangi, or Yang's long-feathered thief, which honors Professor Yang Yandong and refers to the long feathers on the animal's arms, legs, and tail, a feature shared in many Microraptorians but very well preserved in Changyuraptor's holotype. The holotype, a nearly complete skeleton fitted with feather impressions, was described in 2014 by Han et al., and the animal is currently the largest known gliding Microraptorian, at a length of 1.2 meters or 4 feet long and a weight of 4 kilograms or almost 9 pounds. Like Graciliraptor and Zhenyuanlong, it is believed to come from the Lugiaton bed of the Yishan Formation, which dates to around 125 million years ago, so I won't repeat all the animals I mentioned earlier. As stated earlier, Changyuraptor had very long feathers, especially on the tail, where the longest feathers reach almost 30 centimeters or over a foot long, about 30% of the animal's total body length. This is believed to tie into Changyuraptor's larger size, as it would have helped the animal glide faster and have softer landings, both important abilities to possess in the forest environment in which it lived. Now we're on to a Microraptorian that may be familiar to some of you, although perhaps for the wrong reason. Sinornithosaurus is a genus which contains the species Sinornithosaurus millenniae, Millennium Chinese bird lizard, as well as Sinornithosaurus howiana, House Chinese bird lizard. However, S. howiana's validity has been questioned, and many paleontologists believe it is simply a synonym of S. millenniae, so that's what I'll be sticking with. The generic name refers to its discovery in China and its bird-like features, while the specific name referred to the upcoming 2000 millennium, as Sinornithosaurus was first described in 1999. As such, it is the first Microraptorian to be described, and one of the first non-avian dinosaurs found with feather impressions, leading to the now widespread belief that most, if not all, dinosaurs were covered in some sort of filament covering. Sinornithosaurus has been estimated at a length of around a meter or 3 feet long and a weight of about 3 kilograms or over 6.5 pounds, making it one of the larger Microraptorians. It has been found in both the Douangjiangxi and Jiangshangao beds of the Yishan, both of which date from 125 to 122 million years ago, coexisting with Zhongjianosaurus and Tianyuraptor in Douangjiangxi, while in Jiangshangao it was contemporaries with Psittacosaurus, Bipalosaurus, Caudipteryx, Dilong, and more. This animal may seem familiar if you, by any chance, heard of a study done in 2009, led by Empu Gong, which suggested that Sinornithosaurus may have had a venomous bite, citing both the animal's unusually long grooved teeth and a possible venom sac the team found. This theory was so popular that it even appeared in an episode of Planet Dinosaur. But it didn't take long for other studies to tear apart this theory, pointing out that grooved teeth are not unique in Dromaeosaurs and are very prevalent in non-venomous animals, explaining the extraordinarily long teeth as being pulled out of their sockets post-mortem, and the venom sac merely being the result of a damaged skull. Even the team that originally came up with the hypothesis has since admitted that Sinornithosaurus probably wasn't venomous, but it was still a pretty interesting animal. It was one of the first dinosaurs that we were able to determine the color of by analyzing fossilized pigments in the feathers, which showed that it was mostly reddish-brown with traces of yellow, black, and gray also being spotted. In addition, a study analyzing the sclerotic ring of the eye suggested that Sinornithosaurus was likely cathemeral, meaning it would have been active throughout the day and night at short intervals. Basically, it would spend its days sleeping, then hunting for a bit, then sleeping, then gliding through the forest, followed by more sleeping, and so on. Finally, while the feathers necessary for gliding haven't been fully preserved in any of its fossils, Sinornithosaurus is believed to have been able to glide like other Microraptorians, with the claim that it was too heavy being debunked after the discovery of the much larger Changyuraptor, which could glide. Last but most certainly not least for the Yishan dromaeosaurs is Tianyuraptor ostromi, or Ostrom's Tianyu thief, which refers to the Shandong Tianyu Museum of Nature where the holotype is kept, and honors John Ostrom, who is most famous for describing fellow Dromaeosaur Deinonychus and jump-starting the dinosaur renaissance. It was described in 2009 by Xiaoting Zhan et al. based on a nearly complete subadult skeleton missing only the tip of the tail, and it is estimated at a length of almost 2 meters or 6.5 feet long and a weight of 5 kilograms or 11 pounds, making it the largest of the Microraptorians. Its size, coupled with its relatively shorter forelimbs, suggests that Tianyuraptor would have been unable to glide, and likely avoided competition with other dromaeosaurs by hunting on the ground. Its placement in Microraptoria is not completely set in stone, and it has occasionally shifted to a more basal position, but I'm currently keeping it in Microraptoria for now. Next is the namesake of Microraptoria, Microraptor. The genus Microraptor actually includes 3 species: Microraptor zhenyuanlong, or zhao small thief, Microraptor gyi, or goose small thief, and Microraptor hankyinae, or honking small thief. Although some paleontologists have suggested that all these species are the same, simply representing individual variation, in which case M. zhenyuanlong would take priority as the type species. Zhenyuanlong was described in 2000, 1 year after Sinornithosaurus. Gyi was described 3 years later in 2003, and hankyinae is the most recent, being described in 2012. All 3 species of Microraptor are known from the Jiufotang Formation in northeastern China, specifically the Shanghai Shao bed, lending credence to the idea that they may all be the same species. Its contemporaries include Psittacosaurus, Semicodopteryx, Sinornithosaurus, and a wide variety of birds and pterosaurs. Microraptor is among the smallest of the Microraptorians, and one of the smallest non-avian dinosaurs ever discovered, at a length of 77 centimeters or 2.5 feet long, and a weight of about 1 kilogram or a little over 2 pounds. Based on fossil evidence gathered throughout the almost 20 years since its description, Microraptor has been shown to have quite a diverse diet, such as mammals, fish, and even a new species of lizard have been found in the gut area of several specimens, making it essentially a jack of all trades when it came to what it ate. Along with being the first Microraptorian to be found with the iconic 4 wings, which allowed it to glide, Microraptor has also had its color determined through a similar method to that which determined the color of Sinornithosaurus, which found that Microraptor would have been black in coloration, similar to crows and ravens, and its feathers may have been iridescent, which would have helped in communication or sexual display. Studies of the sclerotic rings suggest that Microraptor may have hunted at night, meaning it could have been a nocturnal animal, which certainly would have helped it avoid larger diurnal predators like Sinornithosaurus. The last of the Microraptorians, and the only member of the group to be found outside of China, is Hesperonychus elizabethae, or Elizabeth's western claw, with the generic name referring to it being the only Microraptorian to be found in the Western Hemisphere, while the genus name honors Elizabeth Nichols, who discovered the holotype in 1982. It is known from the Lower Dinosaur Park Formation as well as the Oldman Formation, both of which are in southern Alberta, Canada, and date to the early to mid-Campanian, about 77 to 76 million years ago. Despite being discovered back in the 80s, the animal wasn't described until 2009 in a paper by Nick Langreich and Phil Curry, who immediately classified it as a Microraptorian. Hesperonychus is only known from a partial pelvis and some toe bones, which suggests an animal that reached a length of under a meter or 3 feet long and a weight of about 2 kilograms or 4.5 pounds. Like Changyuraptor, it is believed to have been unable to glide and likely hunted on the ground. Its food would have consisted of small vertebrates like mammals, lizards, amphibians, and fish, as well as the eggs and young of other dinosaurs. It likely would have fallen prey to predators like the lizard Paleosaniwa, the crocodilian Ladiasuchus, as darkened pterosaurs, and larger theropods like Latinovenatrix, Dromaeosaurus, Sinornithosaurus, and even tyrannosaurs like the Spletosaurus and Gorgosaurus. Next up is a group that is technically more basal in the Dromaeosaur family tree than Microraptoria, but it chronologically appears later, so here we are. I am, of course, talking about the subfamily Unenlagiinae, a group best distinguished by their long, thin snouts, shorter arms, and the fact that they are the only known Dromaeosaurids to be found in the southern hemisphere, with all known members being found in South America, although possible Unenlagiids have been found in Africa, Antarctica, and Australia. The group is currently known from the Cenomanian of the mid-Cretaceous to the Maastrichtian of the late Cretaceous, about 99 to 69 million years ago. The earliest Unenlagiine that we currently know of is Buitreraptor gonzalezorum, or the Gonzalez's vulture thief, with the generic name being derived from the Spanish word for vulture in reference to the fossil site La Buitrera where it was found, while the specific name honors the Gonzalez brothers Fabian and Jorge, who helped in the excavation and preparations of the fossils at the site. It was described in 2005 by Peter Makovici, Sebastian Apestigua, and Federico Agnolan based on 4 partial skeletons discovered in 2004. Based on these remains, Buitreraptor was pretty small, at a length of 1.5 meters or 5 feet long and a weight of 3 kilograms or 6.5 pounds. The La Buitrera site where it was found is part of the much larger Cordilleras Formation, which dates to the Cenomanian age of the mid-Cretaceous, about 99 to 94 million years ago, and it coexisted with a wide variety of other dinosaurs, including sauropods like Ondosaurus, Lineasaurus, Nopscospondylus, and Rheosaurus, an unnamed iguanodon, and other theropods like the Alvarosaurid Alnacetri, the Basalsaurusaurid bicentenaria, the Abelosaurid Ecrixanotosaurus, and the giant Carcharodontosaur Giganotosaurus. It likely preyed on smaller vertebrates like fish, lizards, amphibians, and others like the primitive snake Najash, the small crocodilomorph Auronipisuchus, and the small saber-toothed mammal Carnopio. Like other Unenlagiids, Buitreraptor can be distinguished from the northern Dromaeosaurs by a long, thin snout filled with cone-shaped teeth with little to no serrations, which were likely for catching fish and other small prey items, as well as relatively shorter arms and smaller sickle claws. Despite its placement in Dromaeosauridae, Buitreraptor also has features similar to that of troodontids and birds, providing more evidence for a close relationship between Dromaeosauridae, Troodontinae, and Avialae, perhaps even sharing a common ancestor. The next 3 Unenlagiids are all from the same formation, that being the Portezuelo Formation in Argentina, which dates from the Turonian to the Coniacian of the mid-Cretaceous, about 91 to 88 million years ago. The first of the 3 is Pamparaptor micros, or small pampa thief, which was described in 2011 by Juan de Porfiri, Jorge O. Calvo, and Domenica dos Santos after the holotype, a nearly complete left foot, was mistakenly thought to belong to a juvenile specimen of fellow Unenlagiine Unquillosaurus. As its specific name would suggest, the animal was very small, estimated to reach a length of 50 to 70 centimeters or 1.6 to 2.3 feet long, a height of 20 centimeters or a little over 7 inches tall, and a weight of around 5 kilograms or a little over 10 pounds. The holotype was found in the Basal quarry of the Portezuelo Formation, which also includes Microraptor, Padogosuchus, and Balesaurus. Given its small size, Pamparaptor likely preyed on smaller vertebrates like mammals, birds, turtles, and possibly fish. Although its classification is a bit uncertain, I'm placing it as a Unenlagiine due to it being in the southern hemisphere and the fact that it lived with two other Unenlagiines. The second protozoal Unenlagiine is Unquillosaurus argentinus, or Neuquén thief from Argentina, which refers to the Neuquén basin within the Neuquén province of Argentina, which includes many fossil formations, one of which is protozoal. Unquillosaurus was described in 2005 by Fernando Novas and Diego Paul based on remains found in 1996. Specifically, the remains consisted of a left foot, fragmentary cervical vertebrae, and partial ribs, tail chevrons, and a radius. Based on these fossils, Unquillosaurus is estimated to reach a length of 1.8 meters or 6 feet long and weigh about 3.5 kilograms or over 7.5 pounds, making it slightly larger than the previous two Unenlagiines, although nowhere near the largest member of this group. Being part of the protozoal formation, Unquillosaurus would have coexisted with animals like Melargosaurus, Pseudolongosaurus, Microraptor, Patagonicus, and Argentino Draco, and it would have preyed on small vertebrates, probably slightly bigger than what Pamparaptor would have preyed on due to its larger size. However, Unquillosaurus' validity as a genus has been questioned, as some paleontologists believe that this animal may actually be a junior synonym for the third and final protozoal Unenlagiine. Unenlagia, the namesake of the subfamily of Unenlagiinae, currently consists of two species, Unenlagia comahuensis, half-bird from Comahu, and Unenlagia painamili, or painamil's half-bird. Although Unquillosaurus may be a third species, or maybe even a synonym for one of the current species. The generic name, which is derived from the native Mapudungun language, refers to the fact that the scientists classifying it believed it to be a missing link of sorts between dinosaurs and birds, while Comahuensis refers to the Comahu region in Argentina where it was found, and Painamili honors Maximino Painamil, the chief of the Painamil community living near where it was found. U. comahuensis, the type species, was described in 1997 by Fernando Emilio Novas and Pablo Puerta, making it the first Unenlagiine to be described, while U. painamili was described 7 years later in 2004 by Jorge Calvo, Juan Porfiri, and Alexander Kellner. While it is known from fragmentary remains, Unenlagia is estimated to reach a length of 2 to 3.5 meters, or 6.5 to 11.5 feet long, and weighing about 75 kilograms or 165 pounds, making it the second largest known Unenlagiine. Both species were found in the protozoal formation, coexisting with the same animals mentioned earlier, and it is likely that one species came after or evolved from the other, although they may have overlapped. Unfortunately, what we know about this animal is slim and mostly based on close relatives, but it is very interesting regardless. Unquillosaurus ceibalii, or Unquillo River lizard from El Ceibal, refers to both the Unquillo River and the town of El Ceibal, both of which are near the fossil site where the animal was found. It is known only by the holotype, a fossilized pubis, which was described as a new species in 1979 by Jaime Eduardo Paul. In 1986, it was classified as a carnosaur, which nowadays is the group now called Austroraptor. Then in 2004, it was reclassified as a Maniraptoriform, likely an avialan or alvarosaurid, until a study in 2006 concluded that Unquillosaurus is most likely a Dromaeosaurid, probably a Unenlagiine due to it being found in South America. Specifically, the Los Blanquitos Formation in northwestern Argentina, which has been dated to the Campanian age of the late Cretaceous, somewhere between 84 to 72 million years ago. The formation itself is poorly known, as the only other animals found there consist of indeterminate remains of birds, a titanosaur, and other theropods. Given its size of 2 to 3 meters or 6.5 to 10 feet long, Unquillosaurus probably hunted small vertebrates, primarily fish. Based on the time period, any large theropod in the formation could be either a late surviving Megaraptoran or an abelosaurid similar to that of Quilmosaurus or Carnotaurus, with an abelosaurid being more likely. Once again, that's all we really know about this animal, so let's move on to the next one. The last and largest of the Unenlagiids was quite a spectacle. Austroraptor cabazi, or Cabaza's southern thief, refers to its discovery in South America and honors Hector Cabaza, founder of the museum where the specimen was studied. It was described in 2008 by Fernando Novas, Diego Paul, Juan Canale, Juan Porfiri, and Jorge Calvo, based on a partial skeleton found in 2002. Based on the skeleton, Austroraptor was huge, even compared to other more derived dromaeosaurs, reaching a length of 5 to 6 meters or 16 to 20 feet long, a height of 1 to 2 meters or 3 to 6.5 feet tall to shoulder, and a weight of 300 to 350 kilograms or 660 to 770 pounds. It is known from the Allen Formation in Argentina, which dates to the early Maastrichtian age of the late Cretaceous period, about 72 to 69 million years ago. There it coexisted with dinosaurs like Saltosaurus, Bonatitan, Rhocosaurus, Iolasaurus, Lampampasaurus, Bonapartosaurus, Quilmosaurus, and more. Allen may have also shared fauna with similarly dated and close by Lecho and La Colonia formations, adding animals like Noasaurus and Carnotaurus. Like the rest of its kin, Austroraptor likely ate prey smaller than itself, probably focusing its diet primarily on fish, essentially making Austroraptor the Spinosaurus of Dromaeosaurs. Austroraptor also has the signature elongated snout with conical teeth, as well as the shortest arms proportional to its size of any known dromaeosaur. While it is currently the last known Unenlagiine, other Maastrichtian theropods, which may be Unenlagiines, are known from Antarctica and Madagascar, perhaps extending the group's temporal range to the very end of the Cretaceous period, 66 million years ago. The last subfamily we'll be covering in this video is very recent, and also the most basal subfamily of Dromaeosauridae, even more basal than Unenlagiinae, Halszkaraptorinae. Most of what we know about this group comes from the type genus Halszkaraptor, including their small sizes, long necks, and possible semi-aquatic lifestyles. The three genera currently in this group are all known from Mongolia and lived from the Campanian to the Maastrichtian age of the late Cretaceous period, about 75 to 71 million years ago. First in this group is Mahakala omnigove, which refers both to Mahakala, a protector deity in Tibetan Buddhism, and Omnigove, Mongolia, where it was discovered. It was described back in 2007 by Alan Turner et al., who classified it as a basal dromaeosaurid, and it would be 10 years before it got placed in Halszkaraptorinae. It is known from a single partial skeleton, which indicates that it reached a length of 0.7 meters or 2.3 feet long, a height of 25 centimeters or 10 inches tall at the shoulder, and a weight of 1 kilogram or over 2 pounds, making it among the smallest of the Dromaeosaurids. Mahakala has been found in the Tugarkan Shire bed in the Yadokta Formation, which dates to about 75 million years ago, making it a contemporary of the famous Velociraptor, as well as Protoceratops, Pinacosaurus, Shibuya, and Apyornithomimus. Given its incredibly small size, Mahakala probably preyed on smaller vertebrates like lizards and the mammal Zolamdelestes, while likely being preyed on by the larger Velociraptor. Like other basal dromaeosaurids, Mahakala shares many characteristics with early troodontids and avialans, strongly suggesting a close relationship between the three groups, and its small size indicates that a smaller size likely preceded flight in the evolution of birds. While many pre-2017 depictions give a generic dromaeosaurid appearance, more recent depictions have the animal more closely resemble its close relative Halszkaraptor. Speaking of Halszkaraptor, Halszkaraptor esquilii, or Halszkan esquiles thief, honors both the Polish paleontologist Halszka Osmowska, who named and described the closely related Hulsanpes, as well as fossil dealer Francois Esquile, who came into the possession of the holotype after it had been passed around between several different fossil collectors after it was illegally removed from Mongolia by fossil poachers. Esquile was also the one who identified the animal as a new species, and it was later described in 2017 by a team led by Andrea Chow based on the nearly complete skeleton. It was in this same study that the subfamily of Halszkaraptorinae was formed, and Mahakala and Hulsanpes were placed in the group along with this new species. Based on the skeleton, Halszkaraptor is believed to reach a length of 60 centimeters or almost 2 feet long, a height of 1/3 of a meter or a foot tall at the shoulder, and a weight of around 1 kilogram or 2 pounds. However, this is based on a subadult individual, so fully grown adults were likely bigger. While it's difficult to say due to it being illegally removed by poachers, paleontologists believe the Halszkaraptor fossil likely came from the Ukal Tolgod locality of the Yadokta Formation, about 75 to 71 million years ago, coexisting with dinosaurs like Velociraptor, Protoceratops, Pinacosaurus, Almaz, Byronosaurus, Pseudopodi, Khan, Cole, Shibuya, Sagan, and birds like Opsiravis and Gobipteryx. Halszkaraptor has quite a unique body shape compared to other dromaeosaurids, including a much longer neck, shorter arms and tail, and most importantly, a toothed beak at the end of its snout, similar to many primitive birds. These features make the animal resemble a goose or swan more than a dromaeosaur, and has led paleontologists to believe that Halszkaraptor would have been a semi-aquatic animal, using its long legs to run on land and its short forelimbs as flippers to swim underwater. Its shorter tail would have even helped it to swim better, bringing its center of gravity more to the front of the animal, which is more ideal for swimming than it is for running on land. It would have hunted aquatic prey like fish and amphibians, and probably only came on land to reproduce, which would have made it vulnerable to predators like Velociraptor. Well, on the water, Halszkaraptor would have been easy pickings for crocodilomorphs like Shamatsukis. The final member of Halszkaraptorinae, and the last dromaeosaurid I will cover in this video, is Hulsanpes perlei, or pearl's foot from Kulsan, which consists of the Latinized version of Kulsan, Mongolia, where it was found, refers to the partial right foot that was part of the holotype, and honors Mongolian paleontologist Altangerel Perlei, who had described a multitude of Mongolian dinosaurs. It was the earliest Halszkaraptorine to be described, all the way back in 1982 by Halszkaraptor, based on a partial right foot and brain case found in the Gobi Desert in 1970. Osmolska originally classified it as a Dromaeosaurid, although it had been briefly considered to be a non-Dromaeosaurid Maniraptoran, before finally being placed in Halszkaraptorinae in 2017 in the same paper that described Halszkaraptor. While its exact size is unknown, it was likely similar in size to that of its relatives, possibly weighing anywhere between 2 to 3 pounds. Hulsanpes is known from the Kulsan locality of the Barren Goyot Formation, which is dated from 72 to 71 million years ago, during the early Maastrichtian age of the late Cretaceous period. There it coexisted with dinosaurs like Avimimus, Parvacursor, Bagaceratops, Cycania, Tarchia, and Tylocephali. Like Mahakala, it likely preyed on small lizards and mammals like Deltatheridium, Catops beatar, and Nemect beatar, and it likely fell prey to predators like the giant lizard Astacia and larger theropods like an unnamed Dromaeosaurid closely related to Velociraptor. Not much else is known about this animal due to the fragmentary remains, although it was likely very similar to its close relatives Mahakala and Halszkaraptor. That wraps up the first part of Dromaeosauridae. Part 2 will cover the more derived Dromaeosaurs, specifically those within the clade Eudromaeosauria, which includes the more famous Dromaeosaurids like Velociraptor, Utahraptor, and Deinonychus. However, it may take a while to get there, as my next video will be the Elaphrosaurus creature profile, followed by episode 9 of my Jurassic Fight Club analysis, Ice Age Monsters, which will then be followed by the Mapusaurus creature profile. Then will be my River of Death analysis, and after that, natural history will return not just with Tyrannosaurids Part 2, but also an updated version of Tyrannosaurids Part 1 with new discoveries added. That's all for today. Be sure to like and subscribe. I hope you all learned something new today, and this is Paleo Nerd signing out.